Throw Gang, we are joined by the esteemed menswear loudmouth, Lauren Schlossman, and myself, New York Magazine's #1 TikToker and men's style bro, James Harris. Welcome to the weekly Running the Boys with today's full episode only available on
TikTok.com/throwingfitspod.
Yeah.
It's out, ladies and gentlemen.
That very cursed photo shoot that we talked about anonymously, don't worry, Vox Media, we abided by the NDA, is out. And what a fucking...
I think it lives up to the cursed reputation.
Yeah. Not only... Okay, so like, it's been a weird, I don't know, a few months for me. And I think that when we talked about leaving the photo shoot, I like had to go for a walk through Central Park and like collect my inner turmoil.
You have to decompress.
And this is just like re-triggered that all again, where I'm just like, what are we doing here, folks?
They read me like a book. I am an esteemed menswear loudmouth. They did you so dirty. Men's style bro.
Men's style bro.
You're not a bro.
Yeah, but
he ain't stylish.
But this one, but I am associated with a fucking loudmouth bro. You're the bro, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah. What would you have liked to be called?
Out sick that day, like
anonymous. You were like a black bar over your eyes,
like, on like a gangland.
What's up? This is men's style bro, James Harris.
You are ice grilling so hard.
I know, because I thought it was funny. Well, one, I was so disaffected with like everything going on, and everyone's just like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah,
I'm on my phone, I'm taking a selfie. And it's like, why are you playing into what everyone's worst perception you already is? The comments on it are incredible.
Oh, I'm not going to read them.
One of them was the headline is like, we took all New Yorkers, TikTokers off the street.
Yeah, fuck you, by the way. We're not even, like, okay, all right, sure, sorry.
And then someone's like, I wish you would, instead of Bad Roman, I wish you would take them to a basement and chain them up and left them there.
Bro.
Did
you like my knife talk?
I did like the knife talk.
Thank you. I'm happy they selected the most violent pose.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're beyond that.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because I'm fucking...
Yeah.
Meditating and postulating before we get into going ham on Kevin Costner's ranch, dining with Francis Mallmann.
Ooh.
A true goat. I'm glad you finally learned who he is. And broing down with our HBO homie. Let's get into some housekeeping around this incense, Lawrence.
Yeah, this Friday we are releasing a incense collaboration with our friends from London, Cremate. This is a nice stocking stuffer. $30. Drops on Friday. It is a delicious mix of orange, thyme, and black pepper.
A little spice, a little fruit, a tin. Every tin comes with, I believe, 30 cones. The lid doubles as a little fucking incense tray. And I've been burning these. I had a bag of samples, and I've been burning them before guests come in here to cover up the stinky, stinky farts of my all-cabbage diet. And it has been getting a lot of compliments from like esteemed gentlemen such as like, I don't know, AJ Tracy.
I love incense, and Jenna hates incense, and she approves of this, which is great.
Oh, nice.
I might have bought Chrome Hearts incense, and ours smells better.
Wow.
So,
and probably cheaper.
That's the fucking throwing fits difference.
Probably
baby.
cheaper at $30 available.
Much cheaper.
Friday, December 8th, I believe.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's perfect for, well, it's definitely perfect for this time of year.
I like spice. Yeah. I like spice and like herbaceous incense. And I think you like more, well, I don't know about incense, but like at least perfumes, you like more like fruit. Yeah. I think we found a nice middle ground with this where it's like definitely spice forward a la Timothée. There was some fruit on the back end.
There's 3 recipes. And it was almost like a Jimmy recipe, a Larry recipe, but then like we kind of settled. We actually compromised.
I think this is actually the Jimmy recipe. I'm sorry, I'm speaking the truth here.
It's definitely not, but like, why even say that?
Because I just speak truth, bro. All
right,
facts only.
So if you want to
#1 men's style fact teller.
If you want to support James, buy a can of incense for 30 bones. They're pretty limited, but it is like the perfect stocking stuffer for yourself, for anyone. If you like good smelling shit. Oh, I don't know what is we say on the low. It's a custom tin and everything, but there's what is it?
Burn that shit, light that shit, smell that shit, or something like that. Light that shit, burn that shit,
smell that shit. Yeah.
You're gonna like the way you smell. I guarantee it.
Shout out Cremate.
Let's get into a fit check in since I bogarted credit for the incense. Why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. I wore Prada boots to the crib. I am wearing gay Mozart socks from Threadies. I got an unreleased pair of Cheapy Company SS24 pants on, lens hanging out the window. You ain't got these on. You also
are you allowed to wear these? Because I
have no idea, but I can't stop because they're the best pants I've gotten in so long. They are like a parachute cargo pant. I've
seen Well, we don't have to get into what I have, but because I'm not wearing it. But I've seen you thirst over the years. I've never seen you thirst
I needed these.
so hard over this one pair of pants. And part of it, I think, was
Seeing you in them.
seeing me in them and you being a little shook that I was going to get them ahead of you.
No, that doesn't matter to me. I see something.
You want it.
I want something. I ask for something.
You don't ask.
No,
you
I was
demand.
going to say that there is another style of pant that is coming out next year that you may or may not have. That is a climbing style kind of pant. They are both so fucking fire, and I'm not getting paid to say this, and it's not because I stole these from the showroom.
Right.
It's that they're that good.
Well, CP finally, and again, this is just fucking factual. We are friends of the brand, but they finally stopped doing super slim like Euro ass pants and got on board with the fucking baggy boys, and their bottoms are finally mimicking their tops.
Yeah.
The bottoms are running the asylum.
Like Denzel in the Equalizer 3, we took out the Euro trash. We got the fucking big bodies on the fucking hindquarters for SS24. Shout out Enrico. Shout out Giovanni. And shout out all of our friends at Cheap A Company.
And Rylan, who actually gave you the pants.
Oh, and Rylan, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to have them. Whatever.
Whoopsie.
I'm wearing an Auto 958 long sleeve shirt.
Wait,
wore
what? You bought this?
Yeah.
Dude.
And I'm buying. When you hear this, I will have bought the hats that dropped today too. Dude, I'm a Otto von Fitzmark, bro.
Very relevant.
What do you mean?
What?
Why is it very relevant?
No, it's just funny.
What do you mean?
It just is.
Oh, okay.
Very topical.
I love Kiko. What can I say?
Yeah.
And it's all like cheap, affordable stuff versus like, runway stuff. Anyway, the jacket is a vintage RLX leather Western puffer that I got from the boy Javos. His loss is my gain. I guess this didn't fit him, so he sized up and got the vest version. I had no idea that RLX was going so fucking hard with like the more double RL seemingly styled stuff back in the whenever the fuck this came out. I could not tell you.
What year is it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But shout out Javos, appreciate you. That is gonna be my new daily driver.
Nice and brown, like a Travis Scott watch.
Yo, yeah, dude. It's going to go so well with one of my, I just spit so disgusting on the mic. I wonder if that came through. ASMR for the fellas. It's going to pair great with my AP Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Brown $200,000 chronograph.
Yeah. Well, you did pick up a rich asshole accessory over the weekend.
Oh,
Which,
wait,
sorry, I don't want to
we're
spoil
not-
the vid check, but keep going.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Metal fits on the cap. Skims on the cock.
And balls?
Rolly on the wrist. And balls. Okay. Rolly on the wrist. Wedding ring on the fingy. Wifey on the pinky. Chrome hearts on the other hand.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become everything you make fun of on a podcast.
When in Rome, in this case, when in Aspen, had to hit the fucking Chrome Heart store. Shout out my boy Wyatt, VIP customer.
You love a memento.
Who made a reservation for me.
Reservation. Well, yeah. I mean, you could also just go on their website. It's not okay. Whatever. Okay.
Whatever. Are we talking about this now? But I have a Chrome Hearts ring.
Let's talk about this now. You have a Chrome Hearts ring. You love a memento. Shout out Guy Pearce. And Chrome Hearts incense.
And Chrome Hearts incense and the incense holder.
I don't know if people can, if we were recording in 8K and if you can zoom in large enough. Can I see? I need my phone, like the new fucking Pro Max.
It's a little dinky pinky.
They couldn't even fit the full like Chrome Hearts insignia, like all the curls and shit on there because it's so small.
I was surprised how many affordable entry-level options there are for brokies who are lucky enough to be on a press trip where they're paying for nothing and they might have a little bit of a Chrome budget.
Can I ask a Larry question to ask you how much that ran you?
$550.
Okay.
And yo, there was cheaper rings.
You didn't sort store price low to high?
No, I went to the display case. I literally looked at a bunch of stuff that I thought would be a good kind of like pinky ring for the other hand. That up until this point had been completely bare, since I'm all metal on my fucking left, dude.
You definitely lean left. So I'm going to ask you: are you going to do two? Forget the wedding ring. Are you going to become a two pinky ring guy? Because that's a
yeah. Oh no,
okay.
This is the new lineup, the new rotation.
Yeah. Is this one too big? It like leans over.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. This is a 6. And then this is actually a 5.5 for anyone who'd like to put me on their Christmas list. Those are my ring sizes on my pinkies. I wanted a signet ring, which they had like a bunch of like very cool like cross embellished, fuck you type stuff. But unfortunately, limited inventory. I guess everyone's already done their holiday shopping, at least the Chrome Hearts customers. And this was the best of the options available. And I wanted to get myself a little memento,
after
like
living
Guy Pearce, as you said.
After living like a rich asshole for 2 days.
Yeah.
You want to take some of that home with you.
I did some other shopping, but that was like I will say, you know how like the other day we talked about how I had like the panic attack in the RL store. This is the way to do it, which is make a reservation, maybe bring a couple friends, empty store, no pressure, taking your time, browsing around, wonderful staff. And yeah, I didn't feel upsold.
No, you got downsold.
Yeah, I didn't feel the pressure to buy anything, and then this is what I walked away with, and yeah.
Oh, you're here in Aspen on a press trip. Let's show you over to the more entry level jewelry.
Yeah. Oh no, influencer trip.
Influencer trip.
Is there a difference?
There has to be.
Anyway,
Yeah.
all I know is
editors.
It was an Hermès link.
Influencers are the new editors.
Sheerling mink.
Okay.
What about you?
I can't believe I know.
Oh, hydro flask of Greenpoint's finest.
I can't believe I got to introduce myself now as a podcast business partner of a Chrome Hearts ring guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who says people can't change?
All right.
Wait, do you think it looks like shit? Honestly, be honest.
No, I don't think it looks like shit. It's just a little like, why go Chrome Hearts if it's going to be something that
is tasteful?
I wouldn't even say tasteful. It's just like, why?
There weren't.
Why not go harder?
I think I probably went through 5 rings that I was trying to get that were not in my size before I settled on this. So I wanted to get something.
So it's a sizing issue?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, and like, for example, there was like a fuck you joint that I was like, okay, this is kind of like when you go chrome, this is the platonic ideal, but then it would have been like on like a ring finger, and I just wanted a pinky specifically for the
They could have like ordered.
I needed to wear it out, dog.
Like on the plane ride home?
Out the store, dude. What are you talking about? Like a new pair of shoes. I will say, this is what I wanted to say before you jumped in and got the chrome out there. I know this jacket is good because I got the ultimate compliment from Jimmy, which was nice jacket.
Yep.
Period.
Well, to me, that's more of a testament to Javos's
taste level?
curatorial taste levels. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out Javos, the Greek freak.
And it's before I remembered that you bought a tiny little Chrome Hearts pinky ring. You got a little Chrome Hearts.
I bought other shit too. Do we need to talk about shopping? We can talk about it later.
The dinky on the pinky.
The dinky on the pinky. Chrome on the other hand.
All right, I'll run through my shit real quick.
Please.
Arlagace loafers, Nike Drifty socks, MF Pen chef pants, vintage US Open shirt from, I want to say Fantasy Explosion or maybe Intramural. Our Legacy little zip up sweater, Our Legacy bomber jacket, vintage Yankees hat. I forgot to wear my fucking Bottega ring, which did get a lot of attention on this fucking cool guy influencer trip.
Yeah.
Sipping on a Diet Pepsi, and Greenpoint's finest. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of us talking about how cool we are for an hour and a half.
Is that what it is? I don't think it's that.
No.
I think it's about, this is just, what do you say? This is real spit, dude.
This is real fucking spit.
This is real, no sucker ass moves in sight.
No sucker ass moves behind the paywall. Chef, erect the paywall right now.
Build the wall.
The most important thing of note that happened last week to us is we were invited on this Hermès trip to Winter Camp Hermès.
Camp Hermès, hashtag
Camp Hermès. No, I think it was Winter Camp Hermès.
Whatever.
There was no hashtag. That's how much these guys, that's when you know it's going to be good.
There actually was a hashtag, and it's hashtag Camp Hermès.
Okay. It wasn't on any of the literature. Where do you see that?
From all the posting that everyone did that was on the trip out of the goodness of their heart. And this is how I knew that this was going to be a trip unlike any other. Before we get into all the nitty gritty details, 0 obligations. Pull up and just fucking ensconce yourself in the warm, beautiful, luxurious. I know they don't like that word. Creative embrace
Playful.
Of Hermès.
Yeah, it was very much. It was quite the production. I think we didn't really understand.
Production.
Okay, I don't think we really understood what we were getting into.
No idea.
Until I think the first email hit with the itinerary. And it's like, oh, you're flying out of Teterboro. What does that mean? Private fucking jets.
Yeah, baby.
And also car service, whatever. Let me just preface everything by saying that like this is not. Yeah, we're gonna run through like the ridiculousness and absurdity and awesomeness of this trip, but it's like I don't want.
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to like reckon.
You're pretty self-conscious about how.
Not self-conscious. I just think it's like, would I want to listen to someone talk about how they had like a very luxurious 2.5 days for an hour? Not necessarily. So I think we're going to get into the nitty gritty of what we did, but also like have some self-reflection time of like what this means for throwing fits, what this means for just like the general culture, and what this means for like as, you know, 2 fucking semi-regular schmoes that have bumbled and fumbled and stumbled their way into an Hermès influencer trip for all intents and purposes.
Failed up at Teterboro, right off the fucking tarmac.
All right, so it starts off with, I would call this an omen.
Yeah.
But look, the trip was great. But
Yeah.
amazing first thing that happened to you on the trip because you decided to show up an hour early like
Yeah.
a fucking the mark that you are.
I'm such a fucking idiot loser that I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna. The guy was like, yo, I'm here, and I'm like, well, he's not supposed to pick me up for an hour, but I'm ready, so fuck it, let's go, let's get this shit started.
and you packed that morning.
Yeah. And I show up to the clearport. And it is just me, obviously. But luckily for me, who was embarking, none other than Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, coming from God knows where. No Trump branded machinery.
Well, I think they're trying to distance themselves from the brand.
My biggest takeaway is that they are freakishly tall.
Yeah.
Like I knew that he's a Gumby ass moron who, of course, couldn't solve anything in the Middle East. And I know she is a woman who her father wants to have sex with. I did not realize they're both like, they could be fucking starting power forwards on any NBA team.
Or WNBA team.
Yeah, that too. Honestly, yeah.
What a sight.
Kushner could get boxed out by any WNBA starter.
What a sighting. And I'll say this. I think that we're going to get into the pros and cons of flying private. Showing up an hour early, I'm like, why would you do that? Like the whole benefit, the main benefit of flying private, I believe, because this is the first time I've done this, is that you're able to just show up, walk on the plane, and take off, right? You don't have to go through any of like the security protocols. You're not waiting in any lines.
Nope.
And then when you land, you walk off, you get in your car, and you're fucking out of there. So I'm like, why would you show up an hour early?
Yeah.
And I think that the Teterboro Airport is very bare bones because it's not a place where you show up to wait.
Teterboro,
it's just a room with a few chairs and like some water bottles.
so that actually where we were, that's the lobby or waiting room for that specific airline that we were using. Teterboro, it's just all of these independent. So there might
no, it's like being like the Delta terminal or like the JetBlue terminal.
I don't even remember what the brand was for anyone at home taking notes.
It was like Atlantis Transport or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I was just very jacked up and nervous. And instead of pacing around my apartment or like chain smoking,
You could have watched 1/3 of a movie, bro.
I probably could have. Honestly, no TVs on private jets.
We'll get into the private jets.
Not ideal.
When I knew that this was the issue with these types of trips that you and I grapple with is you never know who's going to be on there, right? And so chances are there could be some people that you just don't get along with or don't want to spend like, the
New
3 days
friends,
with.
maybe old enemies. Who's to say?
Or new enemies, old friends.
that too.
Luckily, an old friend did show up. And when he pulled up, I was like, yes, this is going to be a fun time. At least we have somebody that we don't have to spend all our time together. We can lean on him a little bit to at least just like have a good time with our boy, Chris Wallace. He's been on the podcast before and absolutely must make his return.
He's the best, dude.
Talk about a guy who
also washed over me like an awesome wave.
Talk about a guy who knows how to fucking travel. Like this man is.
Oh yeah.
I call him the last romantic. Like he is truly just like the type of guy that I envy him. Where he's just like, I was in Damascus last week and my car broke down, but then I got picked up by this roving band of Roma and was able to take beautiful photos and drink fermented yak piss, and we got all fucking twisted and didn't just ate some like Romani mushrooms or whatever.
They don't make him like Chris Wallace anymore, and that's not just because he's a beautiful man
or because his name is Biggie Smalls' name.
Literally. Not just a fucking pretty face, but just like you said, a romantic, an amazing writer, and just the kind of guy that like you can bro down with at the bar, or you can have like a very serious conversation, especially for someone like you who you're almost like going through, I don't know if you're going through a transitional period in your life where like you are looking at things differently, whether it's like the worst article of all time at Curbed or a press trip or
what an article, bro.
It wasn't. I guess because there was no words. What is it? It was just a spread? What do you call that?
Yeah. It was like, hey, we did you a favor and got all these fuckers in a room for an hour. So
whether it's being in a room that should be being chained in the basement, as
like,
someone so astutely put, like you said, or
it's like that meme, like society. If like New York Mag kept all the TikTokers in that room for more than 2 hours, that would have been Washington Square Park. Just like flying cars, bridges across everything. Great public transport.
I hope no one said throw these motherfuckers on a train. But you know what I mean.
But the terminal started filling up.
No, but Chris is the same. I think, he is a thoughtful, deep guy in a sincere way that is life affirming. Who it was just great to be around him, and that's all. I just wanted to give him his flowers because he's like the best guy.
It was just nice to be like, oh, here's an old friend, someone that we can have a real conversation with, not just like, oh man. Hey, nice. Who makes that ring? Chrome Hearts? Sick, bro.
Nice boots, dude.
Sick.
Yeah, Tom Blythe, they're our legacy. Write it down in your little notebook.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool. But also, I was like, dude.
No, maybe, that's sick for OL.
I was like, Tom Blythe, don't sit next to me. There's other free chairs on this bus, and it's mad hot in here. Whatever.
Dude, speaking of fucking seating arrangements.
All right, so before we get onto the plane, the place starts filling up with more and more men. And not just men, like slabs of meat type men, like real good looking motherfuckers. Like all average height 6'3".
At least.
Everyone's wearing like Prada, fucking Louis, like big expensive Bottega bags. I'm looking around.
My Ramova finally felt at home.
Okay.
And you know, like you made fun of me for, even though it was a gift from Jenna, I was happy to have the high-end suitcase at the clearport.
What, so you could look like everyone else in this airport that like we weren't necessarily.
Well, I wanna look like these fucking hot gay men, dude.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's suitcase or just like putting time in the gym. But anyway,
sure.
Besides Chris Wallace and besides us, and Chris Wallace, beautiful man, especially since he got his Turkish hair transplant. But I'm looking around and I'm like, damn, bro, like we got to surround ourselves with beautiful, hot, powerful, chiseled gay men for the next 3 days. 1, am I gonna fuck? 2, am I gonna fuck a dude? 2, it was being surrounded by this type of person. It's like triggers 2 things in me. It's like 1, aspirational. Should I be eating better? Should I be working out more? Should I be like drinking less? Should I be like taking my health
taking
and
more
looks,
penis in the butt?
Yeah, more seriously. 2, is it kind of soul crushing to just be like, these guys put in the amount of work and discipline that I will never be able to do for myself.
For sure.
You as well, I imagine.
Absolutely.
And it's a bit like, fuck, like, these are professional hot people. And to be around that is a bit weird.
While you were being introspective, I was being completely superficial, which I think is a bit of the difference between us, to some amongst many differences. I was not aware of the kind of like new type of gay guy just dropped. And you actually gave me a bunch of insight in this, but literally when I'm looking at it, like you said, 6'3", they're all buff. Everyone's got a high and tight fade. Yep. Everyone's got on like military gorpy stuff. SEAL Team dicks. That's literally what it was. But you made a great point about what that kind of means in a deeper sense.
Well, it's like this all-American good boy look. Yeah. I mean, I think there is that trend cycle of just like Abercrombie.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with some older guys we met on night 2, that they were also some older gay men, and they were also just like, that's not their ilk because they're not of that generation, but they're also just like, yeah, this is very much just like the Bruce Weber kind of like 20-year cycle. And then we
just
pulled
with
out
hiking boots,
and then we pulled out photos of Chris Wallace getting shot by Bruce Weber. And like, oh my god, he's so fucking.
The man was on your Abercrombie bags, ladies and gentlemen. That says it all. Gorgeous.
So I think it's rooted in this like ideal all-American boy, which when you're a young gay man, chances are you are thought of as like the other, as the queer, right? You are not like entitled to like the all-American jock character of like the high and tight haircut, the super chiseled jawline, the clean cut clothes, and
big old fucking pythons.
It's a bit gorpy, but I think it's also there's a bit ravey too.
Yeah,
but it was just like, and that was
by the way, they look fucking awesome.
And that was all these guys, and I do think that
so many
in our world, in the kind of the queer spaces we interfere with, they are like more fashion coded, and so like guys have a bit more of an edgy look, or there's more edge to the look versus like the clean cutness of these guys who are either professional influencers, actors,
designers,
interior designers, architects,
directors, photographers, etc.
Who are more like, normie than I guess like a fashion gay.
Blake talked about this where he goes, you have like whatever we are, the jocks,
the style bros.
Yeah, the style bros. Then there was whatever the middle is, and then the gays. These guys are like
the queers, kind of like the more fluid, and then you have like the gays.
The gays. And these guys, dude, they look like they could, like if they were in Benghazi, it would have gone down differently.
If you put a varsity jacket on these guys, they give you a swirly.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
And it also became clear the differences between us and them when me and you, and my new bestie, Allison Roman, and your new bestie.
But you knew Alice. I'd never met her. So
I knew Allison, but through like other, like tangentially. And when I saw that she was on this trip, and she said this to me, and kudos to her, she's like, this is going to be really good for us. Like we've never really been able to spend time together. It's always just been like super passing convos or like, a few lines at a party.
Sure.
She's good friends with my sister-in-law. She's good friends with a few of my really good friends, but she and I have never really like had the time to like sit down and like actually link up. And she was true. And she was correct. She's like, we're going to become friends from this trip. And I'm like, Yes.
Especially because we fucked up our real estate on the PJ.
Dude.
Astronomically.
All friendships are born in a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I forget what that's from.
I don't
Succession?
know, but it sounds good.
No. Industry? No. Something. We were stupid and we dilly-dallied. And I think we were trying to play it a little too cool where it's like, oh yeah, we're not going to try and rush on the PJ.
Well, I definitely was busy taking pictures, one, so that took up some time. And then two, I don't know about dilly-dallying. That's dilly-dallying. I was being very polite. I wanted to be like, all right, act like I've been here before. Don't like rush up, and unwrap the fucking G6 like it's Christmas morning. Like, listen, this is everyone. You got to act like you've been here before. I was being polite.
But there's some instances where you got to fucking just throw bows and just go savage mode.
We walked onto the private jet, and the only seats available for myself, you, Allison, and Michael, a new stylist friend, was literally in the asshole right in front of the bathroom, which is normally the bedroom.
Right by the drains.
Bro.
So the setup was you have like 2 4-person kind of like quadrant, like captain's chairs with like a table. If you want to like set up a table between you, and then you have just the rectum. Right by the
Which,
drinks.
if it was a bed, if you're like the big boss, you're Logan Roy, right? Like you're going to fucking lay down back there. You're going to get sucked off by a stewardess, whatever. If it's just...
Bring out the sexy stews, baby.
Nice. If it's just 2 benches for 4 people, it is less space than a normal Comfort Plus seat.
Yeah. So this is where I was like, oh my God, we're such fucking assholes. Because like we're flying private and we have... complaints already.
This is good intel.
We were knee to knee. Lawrence and I were knee to knee, knee to knee. We haven't touched each other that much ever.
Yeah.
You
don't like being touched.
Also, like we're kind of like the de facto storage space.
Yes.
Of all the blankets and pillows. And like the one flight attendant is like servicing us last. So like by the time lunch comes out, she's like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, some of these things I don't have anymore.
Oh, I can't get you a turkey club. They've all been accounted for.
You have to eat off a tray off your lap. And it legitimately was like, and like, it was like hot. It was cold. We were sitting sideways when we took off, like all our shit went flying. It was legitimately like not a pleasant 4 hours.
While you were, reading the Hermès catalog magazine as if it was The Economist, I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep because everyone is walking by to use the bathroom, and I was just getting fucking knocked left and right, dude. It was.
I stopped moving my legs. If somebody was coming back for the second or even third time, I wouldn't move my legs. I was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Like you should do the right thing.
There's a bathroom in the front, but you're not.
Oh, is there?
It's just for the sexy stews.
Oh damn! I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, that's what at least
like when we flew back and we weren't flying in the back. Spoiler alert! Like I was like, I'm not gonna piss because I feel really bad about climbing over the people in the back.
It's tough.
It was rough.
Yo, I will say that is the nicest flight attendant I've met some great flight attendants, because traveling is a sport and I'm a global citizen. Catch flights, not feelings. That's the number one of all time, the nicest, most accommodating, wonderful flight attendant.
Sure.
That I have ever experienced. So shout out to her. And she was our flight attendant on the way back as well.
She was.
Great.
I mean, I think part of that has to be like, one, she only has to service 12 people.
Context
right?
is key here. Yeah.
Also, I'm sure that in the grand scheme of private jet flyers, we were relatively well behaved. We weren't like partying or like getting fucked. Well, how much champagne do you have?
A lot. Well, I was like, yo, this whole trip is gonna feel like I'm living in a Rick Ross bar. So of course I'm gonna zin with the champers. Like I'm not gonna not party.
Right.
I'm not gonna not drink everything I can for free.
And for me, a theme of my recent disillusionment with Instagram, even more so than normal, and like people that live their entire lives for IG, I think was perfectly summed up when you were flicking up a glass of champers and you're zin on some like
funny. That's
high-low shit.
That's funny.
And you're like, yo, I'm on the PJ. But meanwhile, like you're sitting on a fucking, I have a photo of you sitting on a hard bench, like hunched over. There's like shit all around you. It's not comfortable. I was very scared that I don't know the diet of these gays, like fitness gays, just crazy protein, right? So I was kind of scared, and fitness, big part of like these guys' lives. Big scared that someone's going to go back there and take a gigantic protein dump ski.
Oh, the real weapon of mass destruction.
Bro, some of them like weren't even closing the door behind them. I'm like, you just pissed or shit. Like, please close the door. This poor man, Michael, is like literally 6 inches from the toilet. There's just a fucking thin wall separating him from your poop particles. But so I have a photo of you like being like,
no, that's it.
so the external perception
Right.
we exude versus the actual reality of
versus
versus actual reality.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point and does kind of like sum up in a nutshell a lot of the stuff that you've been struggling with and a lot of stuff that like I think you and I went through on this trip. With that said, what an amazing opportunity to like basically end the year with your first PJ experience that we got to do together.
Yeah.
And now share with you guys at home.
And then we got to we were redirected because of weather and had to land in a town called Rifle, Colorado, which was
name.
a 2-hour drive from our ultimate destination, Aspen.
Yeah.
And another like moment where I was just like, oh my God, like a little bit like, what are we doing here? Is we pull up to a light outside of Rifle, Colorado, and there's just a homeless guy with a sign that's like, please, anything will help for the holiday spirit. And people are just like on their fucking phones, like doing all this shit, like tapping, shopping, da-da-da.
Those guys in Rifle, Colorado, it's like they need a sandwich. They don't need a gun, right?
Yeah.
So if you see one, hit them with a little snack.
That being said, it did not dampen my excitement for...
Don't you love Colorado for some reason?
Colorado, I think, is far and away top 10 state. First state to legalize weed.
Coach Prime.
Sure. Obviously, the Rockies are like majestic.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But in the summer, it's even it's like equally as fucking fire and beautiful and warm.
Yeah, I guess because you like, I don't like the outdoors. I've said that before. You're like a hikesman.
I think
you're a skier.
Colorado's a blue state. There's definitely pockets of red, some purple, a lot of military. Like actually we drove through
a lot of purple military with SEAL Team Dix in the building too.
Dude, we drove through the headquarters of NORAD. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, really?
In Colorado
I might have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Wait, really? What was that like?
It's just very like
nondescript
American town. But then like in the mountains, there's like missile silos full of nukes.
Oh, we didn't like drive past an actual building or did
no. There's signs for like,
that would have been sick,
military base, NORAD, whatever. Is it top 5 though, is what I was thinking. And so what I got is New York, California.
Yeah.
Right?
Florida.
Yeah. I would put Texas in there.
Texas. Oh, for sure, dude. Hell yeah. Shout out my peeps.
New Mexico is a contender.
Oh, because of Santa Fe, though, specifically?
Yeah, but also just kind of like still with like the natural beauty and the...
Is Santa Fe the kind of like the Aspen of New Mexico? I've never been to Santa Fe, but like just in terms of like... Or like the Jackson Hole of Wyoming, where it's like...
I think Santa Fe is more of a real city than Aspen. Like Aspen's just like a rich... It's the East Hampton of Colorado.
It is literally like just like the most quaint, perfect, high-end... It's like if Madison Avenue was 5 square blocks.
Well, it's like you can't... There's only a few places in Aspen you can like get a meal for under like $20.
Oh, I didn't go to that deli that you told me about.
I went.
Oh, was it? Yeah?
Yeah.
What is it? Grateful Deli?
Grateful Deli. It's been around forever.
What was the order?
Like a roast beef panini.
Oh, nice.
Which is like cheddar and it's fucking good. Slurping up. And some Zapp's chips.
Ooh.
And a Diet Pepsi.
Love me the fucking Zapp's little voodoo.
Maine, Vermont, I think are up in the conversation.
Sure.
Conversation. I think like maybe Washington or Oregon, but
Oregon, bro.
No?
The worst fucking people in fucking Portland and fucking
But again,
Eugene,
it's like
fucking hipster ass nerds.
But Beaverton, Nike, Adidas. Colorado, top 5 state. Leave your thoughts in the comments.
I think that's a hot take, but like I'm also trying to think of like what if I gave them if you're like that's the 5th slot, I don't know, it's more interchangeable to me.
Yeah. There might be like 4 or 5.
What about like because of Illinois and Chicago? Because Chicago's a great city. I love Chicago.
What else is good outside of Illinois? What is good in Illinois outside of Chicago?
What else is good in Colorado besides Boulder and Aspen?
The Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's just a geographical feature.
The like the entire fucking west side is just like beautiful mountains and rivers and forests.
It was a great like normally like on the PJ me being like there's no fucking TVs, I'm fucking bored. I on the bus looking out, I just felt like a dog looking out the window, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing. Scenic.
Anyway. And the scale of everything is like throws you off because everything's so fucking big in terms of like the mountains and the sky.
Mountains for a reason, brother.
Okay, so we get to Hotel Jerome, famously where I believe, I kept telling everyone this, I hope it's true, where the Dumb and Dumber
No,
guys,
that's true.
Is it?
That's 100%
confirmed?
true. Yeah.
It's not the same Regis?
Oh, no. It's Hotel Jerome.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll just go with that.
Good.
Somebody look it up?
That was my fun fact of the weekend.
Well, how was that a landing with all the gay militants?
I was not necessarily... I found my people eventually, but I'm not able to necessarily make small talk with people that I don't want to talk to.
So that's crazy to me because it's kind of like what we do for a living, and you go on a lot of dates, and I would say, well, you're single, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're the single person on the show. My point is this. If you're meeting anyone, all you do is ask them questions about themselves. I guess you just don't want to do it.
I just don't want to do it. And like, also if I get off to a rough start, I'm just get so discouraged. Like, I went up to an actor I recognized and I was looking him up ahead of time, right?
Yeah,
He's the younger brother on Beef. He's like I think he was kind of like the breakout star besides like Steven Yeun killing it for sure. And then David Cho saying that he raped someone and getting canceled for that or whatever.
Yeah.
I look him up on IG and his IG bio says Young Manzino.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's like a rapper name. He's like doing a funny thing here. But then I look up his name like on the internet and his name is actually Young Manzino.
That was amazing. You kind of had like a little bit of a racist moment. Normally you're better than that.
I was like, nah, some fuck, yeah.
I don't. Actually, I think we're wrong. I think Hotel Jerome is not.
You think it's the same
Dumb
Regis?
and Dumber?
Whatever.
Fuck, dude.
Whatever, we can move on. That was 7 minutes ago. And I bricked it with him. I was like, yo, man, Beef was show of the year. And he's like, what? I was like, Beef, the TV show you were on, was my favorite show of the year. And he goes, thanks, dude. And I'm like, oh, you're in
Yeah, your follow-up was not great either.
You're in Mag's movie. He's
Shout
like,
out Mag.
He's like, what? Mag? I'm like, Mark Anthony Green
is directing a movie.
He's directing a movie that he posted a photo that you're tagged in, like on a Zoom call. He's like, oh yeah, I had a little cameo. It's like, see you later.
All right, let me posit something, right? So first of all, shout out Young Manzino, incredible. That's his stage name, right? Did we establish that? He actually has a real.
His name's like Christopher Young Kim, I believe.
Right. But it is. I think it is sick that he goes by Young Manzino. But he's the kind of guy that this is an interesting social media move. He follows nobody.
Okay.
So that makes me think that, yeah, maybe he's not. And I get that Instagram is a different type of promotional tool for like a guy who is becoming B-list, you would say?
No. C.
Okay. He's famous?
No.
Okay.
C.
For a guy on his way to becoming a C-list celebrity, he follows nobody on Instagram. It's like he's not trying to engage with anyone there.
So he's got a burner then.
He's not trying, of course. But how else is he going to get laid off of IG? But I'm saying it's like, okay, then he's not going to want to then engage with even a fucking person in real life.
Well, and I caught that immediately.
Bro, you're a fan, bro.
I caught that immediately, and I'm like, all right, see ya.
Yeah,
like,
dip.
Not gonna fucking talk to you for the rest of the trip, which is totally fine. You know, if you're not feeling the vibe, I'm gonna fucking pull that ejecto cord. All right, dinner one was at the Hotel Jerome, and I think it finally sunk in with us at the cocktail hour before, and how many people were on this fucking trip.
I was totally wrong. There was your influencers.
Yes.
A bunch of staff from Hermès, all wonderful people again. Thank you, Hermès, for inviting us. You have like the celebs and like the brand ambassadors or potential future brand ambassador people.
Yes.
And then you got the VIP fucking clients.
The VIPs.
Where you fucking swiped enough plastic with the horsey. Oh, we'll see you in Aspen.
Yeah.
You earned it. It's like 150 people we were with.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was a lot of people. I looked up I was just looking up Hotel Jerome, just like Google Maps, like see what was around us, and it brings up like the price per night.
Bro,
$2,500 for the room.
I would speculate that Hermès spent millions of dollars to make this happen, but as we kind of learned, and I don't want to spoil a great interaction you had with one of the bosses over there, but this is the first of what will hopefully be like a yearly series where like they have these camp experiences which have amazing highs that I think are very good for the brand by bringing their community together, a diverse community.
I hope I'm not coming off as too much of a hater on like the whole thing, because like I do think that, and I was sitting down with a pretty high level Hermès guy. I was broing down with his boss later on that night, but I was sitting down with this guy and we asked him, like, what are you trying to get out of this trip? Is it like social media? Like, what does the brand want? Is it social media posts? Is it just to, some people were hypothesizing that it was just to flex? Like, look how much fucking money we can spend. And they spent that money. I was shocked by the silk the shaka. And I told him, he's like, well, what are you getting out of it? And I said, damn, if you would have asked me 2 days ago to kind of like what my perception of Hermès was, it would just be like rich guy shit, the Birkin bags, obviously, the orange boxes. But what I've learned over the course of the 2 days, and this is not bullshitting, and this is not just because I'm in the fucking pocket of Big Horsey now, is that the brand has a sense of humor. And there is like an element of fun, that is just as important as like the craftsmanship and like the fucking the price tags that you don't maybe necessarily see in like the clothes themselves, but in like I think how they're trying to position themselves as a brand of this caliber can also have a sense of humor, which is rare. Everything else is so serious,
right?
So just like fucking flexy, and I think that it's a bit refreshing. And again, I hope this is counteracting like the bit of the hater Jimmy shit that is maybe coming through a little bit. Unlike the larger forces at work here.
I'm so happy we're taking the 50,000 foot view because the point that I wanted to make about Hermès is someone who's been a fan of the brand, and like Jen and I have a bunch of like vintage scarves that like we've bought off the Real for each other for gifts, or when we want to like take the dog uptown, you wrap a little scarf around that little bitch. But Quiet Luxury, with the year that it had and how much, at least to me, and I think you would agree, and I don't know how the audience feels, but like how boring and empty and to me not worth the money a lot of these brands are, most notably Loro Piana. Hermès has always been in stark contrast to that. Before I even like knew that was a thing that would even get to the Quiet Luxury, meaning that would get to this level where like you're saying, it is fun. It can be bright and it can be loud, not in like a gauche, crazy maximalist way, a la Michelle's Gucci, right? Which like kind of flamed out because it was almost too loud and was such a moment in time. But like this is a brand where I've always been a huge fan, especially of the fucking menswear. I think it is fucking tasteful. It's next level. Definitely can't afford it whatsoever. But it was nice to step into that universe that like that is fun and creative and is not fucking just boring and the thing that seemingly the upper class is drawn to now more than ever. I hate that stuff.
Is it though? And again, just to kind of devil's advocate, what all the dick sucking we just did, to be like allowed into this world for just like 48 hours, is it a bit like dangling the carrot? Is that a bit like insulting or a little like, look what you can have? And look, this is true of any experiential brand activation anywhere, right? It's like, come enter our world, see what you can be if you spend your money on our goods.
I don't know, because if they have any fucking knowledge of us, they know that like we can't afford to be in that world. But yes, like me, like getting to wear the nicest turtleneck that I've ever worn, a gigantic fucking hilarious scarf, and a $10,000 trench coat
before returning it later after dinner.
So I'm saying, literally getting to wear it for a cocktail dinner and then having to return it. I definitely can see myself in the $5,000 puffer.
Oh yeah, we
saw the $10,000 coat, and in the $100,000 shearling.
We saw the clothes that you borrowed. We saw you posting your borrowed clothes on your Instagram.
Loaned. At least it wasn't in a fitting room.
Sure.
Is that stolen valor?
I think it's sweet.
I think it's a little bit. It's basically being like the guy in the trench. I'm in the trenches, but like I pussy out when push comes to shove, and I stay there and I'm shell shocked.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I'm gonna get into how like watching you get influencer pilled in real time was like kind of like a weird descent into madness. But I think that posting from the PJ,
war will do that to you.
Posting from the PJ on the PJ and posting the borrowed clothes, not even like you wearing them, just like on a hanger. I was like, oh, he's going for it.
Yeah. Well,
he's really going for it.
I'm telling you, bro, I'm a fan. The most embarrassing thing we could talk about how. Also, that's Larry being Larry to some degree, so I'm surprised
that's not.
The most embarrassing Hermès experience we've ever had is whenever we were first put on whatever fucking list that ultimately, finally, against all odds, culminated with the trip of a lifetime, a sprinkling of a lifetime, was we just got invited to a party and I literally ran up to you like I was fucking Charlie and Willy Wonka with the golden ticket. We're on the list, James. We get to go to an Hermès party.
We show up, there's 2,000 people there.
Yeah, but anyway, I love this brand, bro. I really do.
The dinner, so we had dinner.
Please send me free shit. I can't afford it.
Same, please. We had dinner that night, and that's when it kind of hit me that like the best part of this trip, in my opinion, was the breadth of people that were there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the fucking bad Roman curb chewers, just TikTokers.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking people being like, oh my God, how many followers do you have? I'm sitting next to somebody.
No one really cares about IG when you're at this kind of taste level, which is maybe why I am embarrassing myself.
I'm sitting next to you
at places like that,
and then I'm sitting next to a artist guy whose name we cannot for the lives of us fucking remember. But we were talking to him.
He was great.
He was awesome. And then I'm sitting next to like a brand director at Google AI.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to have this like 30-minute conversation with this dude about like AI, where it's at, what Google's doing with it. what his predictions are for the future of it, how he sees it being implemented into like everyday society. I had just, thank God, read like 2 fucking articles on AI in the New
I
Yorker.
could tell because you also pitched him on some very interesting business ideas of yours that involve shopping in AI.
Absolutely.
Which was great to see.
And he gave me his email. And then I got hit with the out of office, which he's on a fucking Hermès trip.
Yeah.
But like, I'm talking to the brand director at Google AI. You're talking to this fucking, the man, Andre Melone.
Maybe like the most popping architect in the entire world.
And you guys are just broing down over movies and fucking, Richard Linklater and David Fincher and Ridley Scott and Dune 2. We're all going to go see Dune 2 next year.
Yeah, we're going to all see Dune 2 together. I can't wait.
And then
bro.
like the next day, and then the next day I'm talking about the future of gambling in professional sports with a former MLB starting pitcher who I recognize the name slightly. I look him up. I'm like, oh, this guy was legit.
Scott Kazmir.
Okay, well.
Oh, you're not supposed to say?
Well, I don't know if he's like, wants to know about like the future of baseball gambling, but whatever. The future of baseball gambling.
Sorry, Scott.
Is players are going to get wired up.
Oh, yeah, this is
right?
intel.
And their metrics, their health metrics, their
Heart
vitals,
rate, yeah.
everything are going to be posted in real time to like whoever's viewing that. And the data will be like, okay, well, when his heart rate's at 120 and there's a player in scoring position, it's a 40% chance that he gives up the run.
Lines will be adjusted in real time.
Exactly.
And you can
that
bet
will
in the stadium.
adjust the odds and you can bet like based on how the fucking player's like heart rate is doing, which is so crazy to hear.
Yo.
But we were talking about like him from an MLB PA perspective. Like how do the players feel about being opted into that? And also our players kind of, because guys are now like betting their homes and children's college funds on sports, like what's player safety going to be like once gambling really takes over like sports society in America?
Yeah. Free Pete Rose, first and foremost, but when you were relaying the future of at least MLB gambling to me, my first thought was, because you already kind of see it happening now, and I don't care, you could, listen, I guess with gambling, like it doesn't just hurt you, it could hurt those around you.
Loved ones.
But I wonder if there is an opioid crisis that was obviously... If we are to posit that the opioid crisis that is absolutely for real, right, was only turbocharged by the greed of big pharma, how much is gambling addiction going to absolutely follow that trend and like be at a nuclear destructive level in this country in T-minus fucking 2 years?
Oh yeah,
dude?
yeah, we're all gonna die
from
gambling.
Die broke.
Yeah, die lit, bitch. From gambling and AI. But that's just an example. I think of like. One day or one meal, you're talking to brand director, Google AI, the most coveted, respected architect
and interior designer as well. He picks out all the furniture if you have him do your crib.
You broed down with the fucking interior designer all day, and took a screenshot of his story and then posted to your story.
Shout out my new best friend Eric Wink, dude. What a guy.
Won't tag you, and you keep reposting his shit to your story on stuff you're not tagging, which is mad funny.
We've since moved past that, and we are
he tagged you?
We are IG friends. No, he just tagged me. He just did it.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out Eric.
But after you had posted it.
Yeah. Tasteful guy.
Right?
Fun time to be around. One of my shopping buddies. Me, him, and Chris hit the town on the last day, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. But no, I think that like what you
congrats, bro. You got the tag. You got the tag.
Yeah.
But after you reposted to your story.
I didn't. Yeah, but you're getting in the weeds and you're making him.
And that same photo he had posted and had tagged throwing fits, but you took a screenshot and posted to your story.
You are making a Rocky Mountain out of a molehill. We can just absolutely move on.
I just think it's
it's not that deep.
This is when I was like, oh damn, he has been fucking influencer pilled.
So you think like my behavior on social media was unlike how my behavior on social media normally is, which I understand is not your cup of tea.
Yes.
I know what I'm. Oh really? You thought I turned it up to 11.
You absolutely did.
Okay. I was having fun, bro. I was living.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I was living in the moment, but also living on my phone.
Yeah.
No, it was great, dude. What can I say? I had a good time.
Like I'm having, I link up, I leave dinner, I go to the bar with Chris Wallace because he's like, please save me. Because again, with these trips, if you get sat down next to people you don't necessarily vibe with, which happened to me at one meal with this fucking wanksta, Chris Wallace is like, yo, please join me at the bar.
Yeah.
We go to the bar after dinner. The food was kind of... You have thoughts on this first dinner?
I hate fine dining with a passion. We've talked about it on the show before. With that said, of the 1,000 courses that were part of this meal, I had what I thought was the craziest, a revelation of what the senses, much like our incense. There was... it was like a honey baked ham in foam form with crispy pancetta, and there was some potato element. I was like, okay, holy shit, this is something unlike anything I've ever had or ever will have again, because I can't afford it and I'm not into it. But that
just
meal in general was too much.
I don't think it was fine dining. I think this is more molecular gastronomy.
Oh, well,
like
then
the WD-50 Wiley Dufresne.
That's Shawshank Redemption, actually.
Wiley Dufresne type dining, which was all the rage here in 10 years ago, whatever. So it was more that, where it's like foams. It's like, oh, it looks like this, but it tastes like that. It's a gummy bear, but it tastes like a tree. Like that type of shit, you know?
Yeah, it's a tree-flavored gummy bear.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Right. But so it's more...
No, I'm just laughing at how, because that would be the worst flavored gummy bear that you would ever have, and that was served to us.
Yeah, it was more that I wasn't really... It was like, oh, it's 3 cubes of beef, but each one tastes like chicken. It was like, what's going on here?
Did you like that one guy, though? That one blew my dick off. That was crazy.
I almost ordered McDonald's that night. I nearly did.
Is there McDonald's in Aspen?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I bet you would hit stiffy, too.
Yeah, for
at that altitude.
It's got a bison burger. But again, it's just like, I'm having this conversation with this guy that I think is actually really interesting about, like, I mean, you're going to fucking roll your eyes at me, but it's about like travel and craft and neo-colonialism and like taking techniques and da-da-da. Turns out this guy's the head of communications at Hermès.
Oh, Peter, yeah.
And I'm just broing down with this guy and Chris. And Chris is like, keeps fucking ordering up Negronis and Belgian wheats for me, because he's like, James, like, you know, like, just a reminder, we're not paying for anything.
Oh, dude.
Put it on your room, because that's going to on the horsey card.
So that's like a bit of a brag, but that actually might have been the best thing. Just like we didn't have to go through security at Teterboro. What was really cool, and I had never thought about this, is you walk into the hotel and you just get the room key.
It's like being on a resort, like with you're cashless.
Yeah, well, but not even that. But you don't have to check in at all.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it's and also you can get hammered and murder the mini bar every night, even if
did you?
Even if that was the weirdest mini bar.
I thought the snacks were there's brands that exist only in mini bars.
Yeah, right.
Like I thought this mini bar, it was too fancy. I was like, I don't want truffle potato chips. I want salt and vinegar. I want Zaps.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want like sea salt, dark chocolate. Well, I mean, I did have those. I don't want mushroom teriyaki jerky.
That was crazy to me. I'm like,
I want a Slim Jim.
But there was also normal jerky. I mean, I ate both, obviously. Okay. But big drunk eater over here. Very, very
what was it like to be off your
with food and alcohol.
What was it like to be off your eating disorder? And eating more than one meal a day.
I mean, like that first molecular gastronomy night, like that's not even like anything. You're just like you're just absorbing foam, through you're an orifice.
It's nutrition by osmosis.
It's not actually like eating. No, I mean my thing is like I wasn't gonna be like a strict bitch and like skip out. Like if it's a seated meal, like I'm going to like I'm gonna eat what's put in front of me, because I just want to all
right, well,
be happy that I'm there.
We're 50 minutes in and we're not even on day 2 of the trip, which is this is like the actual full day itinerary of Camp Hermès, where they bust us about 20 minutes outside of town and there had been whispers and people piecing together the clues.
Yeah.
Where Alison Roman was like, she was the first one to tell me, she's like, yo, I think we're going to Kevin Costner's ranch.
The real Yellowstone.
And the reason why she knew that was because, she mentioned that and she sent me a link to a Daily Mail article saying that he is renting out his 160,000 acre ranch.
It's so big.
For like $40,000 a night. And then in the Camp Hermès like little leaflet, it said we're going to like a art-filled space that's on 160,000 acres.
Oh,
maybe 16,000.
I didn't even see any. He has sculptures and shit.
No, but that was the Hermès stuff. Was like
because I was gonna say this man has just like a Storm King in Aspen. Just I mean, Kevin Costner would. The funniest thing about that, and this is credit to Chris Wallace, the best joke that I heard was it would be so perfect if this was all a ruse for us to show up at Kevin Costner's ranch and then get hunted Most Dangerous Game style.
Yeah.
Which was, I was like, oh, wait, that would be just getting fucking sniped from the trees by Kevin Costner, because even the most impressive person there compared to a goat is but a mere potential victim.
He's like, these influencers are after my land.
Dude. I didn't see any, like, because the part of the property that, by the way, in beautiful, dude, creeks and fucking peaks and foliage and freaks.
I mean,
But it was beautiful, dude.
We were like led around to play games and whatever.
It was a
like,
scavenger
find
hunt,
clues, scavenger hunt.
whatever, you know.
I just loved walking around in like the snow, and it did help that I was one of the only people that was like dressed for the weather in my group.
Same.
Everyone else was like freezing and like stopping for like boot warmers. I'm like, I'm good.
Great.
Shout out to CP Company for hitting me with the fucking the tank of a coat.
I was also warm, and you and I were like talking a lot about like what the fuck do you bring to a trip like this, because they don't want to, when you get all the information, right, they don't want to give too much away because it's supposed to be like a surprise, right? Like the fact that we're hitting.
I told you, I was like, bring your warm shit, dude.
Yeah, and I did, and I got like the right boots, even though like Hermès did provide like a bunch of, thank God they actually provided some Heattech. That was one thing that I don't really own that I realized I need to have on deck. No.
Why you didn't take the Heattech home?
No, I should have. I totally didn't have room though, dude. I ran out of room.
Oh, the Remova wasn't fucking.
No, the Carry-On Plus was fucking stuffed to the brim, bro. Especially with all the new little toys that I bought.
I saw someone's oh, that's true.
But no,
you kept the packaging. I saw someone's Remova, by the way, on when we returned. One of theirs had busted open and was like kind of spilling shit out the bottom of the suitcase at Teterboro.
They're supposed to be, that's German engineering. It's supposed to be better than that. Interesting. Maybe it was just like a metal suitcase from away. Maybe
it was Remova.
Maybe. Are you sure? That's not the Remova difference, as far as I know, as a proud Remova owner. No, but yeah, with packing, it's just so, because again, like you don't know a lot, and you and I were, I don't know about you, but I feel like there was a shared anxiety over like, what the fuck do you bring this thing? But I think we nailed it.
I brought like 2 suits.
I overpacked as always.
Yeah, I brought a suit and like a jacket, but then like we were encouraged to wear some Hermès shit. Oh yeah, this is funny. As soon as we got to the hotel, I took a shower and took a nap, and you were like, bro, come to the gifting suite. It is getting ransacked.
The loaning suite.
Sorry. And I'm like, I'm good. And then finally I go there like 30 minutes before dinner and like, yeah, we have some cashmere sweatpants that with jogger bottoms and like a few women's coats.
Your leather was sick though. You had the big boy leather.
I'm like, so I picked like the one acceptable piece,
but not warm
there.
enough for the cocktail.
No, not warm enough. And I was like, I don't want to fuck this up and like damage this like $5,000 leather jacket. Take it back, please.
It's funny that you say that because, and I told Kelly from Hermès, who was running this was loaning out all the floor models. I literally, it was the first place that I went, not because I was afraid of getting left with the dregs, because I didn't even think that it would be like overrun by all of the influencers and writers and architects and designers. I was just like, this is what I told her. This is what I am most excited for, is to get the chance to drape Hermès.
Okay, the meat riding,
my body.
The horse riding is crazy.
I think it's because, and they hate that word. It's so funny hearing that they don't like to use internally. They will not use the word luxury or opulence or anything like that. Right? It's all about playful and creative. But for me, a fucking peon, that's like the only time that I can just grab at a lifestyle that like podcasting will never afford us.
You can't like go to the store and try it on.
Go to the Hermès. They wouldn't even let me in the front door. Dude, they take one look at me.
You went to the Hermès store and asked.
You're right. That's fair. And I did buy a scarf, but still.
The thing that really tickled my pickle on day 2, and we found this out on the bus ride to Kevin Costner's ranch, was there was this guy, Andy, I'm going to butcher his last name, like Baragnani. He's like
from the New York Times, yeah.
The New York Times put out a cookbook that people fucking love this year. He was like, yo, I heard that they're flying in Francis Mallmann. And I mean, am I wrong? My reaction was like, holy fucking shit.
Your reaction was so big that I had to go, who's Francis Mallmann?
I'm at the mall, man.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Francis Mallmann, I think I tweeted like mad long ago. I was like, yo, anytime I'm nervous before a first date to pump myself up, I watch the Chef's Table episode of Francis Mallmann.
Oh, really? Oh, so this guy's like, because obviously once you have the context, which you're going to provide, go without a doubt.
Well,
he was
like,
your guy already?
He's just, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
crazy. He's like the only chef I follow on Instagram, I think. Like a famous chef.
So I'm so happy for you that you got the link.
When I found out that they were flying him in and he travels with a giant team of fucking fire eaters, I was like, yo, they spent he must cost $1 million to fly in. Yeah, I heard that first of all, you can like do the crazy package and go see him in Patagonia and like post up with him. Yes. But I'm saying to go to him, I think is the most exclusive. Oh, to go to his like compound? To get let into his world. Let me just some context real quick. Francis Mallmann, Argentinian chef from Patagonia, became mad famous he won this very prestigious prize in France, where he just cooked potatoes like 18 different ways. Yeah. His whole thing now is he's a big open fire chef. Mm-hmm. And he has these like mad intensive like domes and planchas and ovens where he just cooks everything outside. He himself is a super romantic guy. He's a fucking big stick man, right?
How many kids does he have?
On the books are off. I don't know. He's always kind of like has this like kind of like French swag going where he always has like scarves and like mad layers and a beret. And when he first came up to us, he was walking around like glad handing.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, dude, like, oh my God. I was starstruck a little bit. I was like, dude, like,
I think it's the only time where you
it'd be fucking whack. If
you
we
went to
right?
anyone we were with and it was Chris and we were like, yo, flick us up.
No, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that.
All right.
I didn't ask for that.
I remember it differently.
Well, your memory's shit. I didn't ask that because Chris, once he came, okay, so he comes over.
Chris knew.
Because we were making fun of a guy that went up to him and was like, yo, take my photo.
Oh, that's what I'm, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Sorry, not to throw you under the bus like that guy.
So
Like a selfie, though. That guy was like-
Frankie comes up to us and he's like, oh, friends, how you doing? And he's wearing a red beret.
Is that what an Argentinian person sounds like?
Yep. And I said, chef, where's your beret? And he goes, ah. And he whips off the beanie, takes the beret, takes his signature beret out of his pocket and throws it on just to flick up with the boys. And then had it on for the rest of the night. But
headgear change, on a motherfucking dime, a swivel.
his chef's table is like, he's,
I'm gonna watch it.
maybe in like the Me Too era would, I don't know,
yeah.
I think some things were raised and
Oh, he's a horny dude.
he's mad horny, but he survived them. And he has like restaurants all around the fucking world. But to see him there, I was like, holy shit, they really did pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to eat the open fire roasted chicken, ribeye, the burnt cabbage, which was honestly, I like the veg more than the protein.
The grilled pineapple. Yeah, the setup, I guess, and we'll talk about, I was a bit starstruck at the actual dinner because of the best seatmate that anybody could ever hope for, which I'll get into. But for me, just watching him cook, because I had, I tried a little bit of everything, and the ribeye, literally let him cook, watch him cook. No, just the setup, right? That it's.
Well, I told you, I was like, yo, there's gonna be like cows on like crucifixes, just like leaned over the fires and shit.
He is and I think this is why people love him. Is he's such an artful guy, not just in how he cooks, but then the speech that he delivered. Like you said, he's very like Chris, very romantic. He has a way with words. He's got a way with fucking meat.
There was a point in the speech where he's like 2 sentences away from talking about just wanting to like have sex with fire. And I'm like, this is literal fire. I mean, he buried a shovel into hot coals and then finished some dulce de leche crepes on top of a plancha with them. Like,
there was a whole salmon,
cool.
the salmon course, and I'm famously not a fish guy. That's the best fish I've ever had in my entire life. And then even crazier, because I would have never thought I would say this. The tartar sauce that was delivered like manna from heaven. That was insane, bro. Like, I don't even know how you make tartar sauce that good, dude. Normally it's like
with fire.
Normally I'm like tartar sauce. I give a fuck. But I was like, I was like trying not to like lick, just eat sauce.
Oh, well, I hope you behaved yourself, because while I had the seatmate from hell sitting next to me, which really tainted the meal for me, I'm not going to lie.
Do I know the guy? Did I meet him? Or
Yes.
Oh,
he was
I know
on
what you're talking about.
He was on your trip. This guy was like king of the bozos. And I like, unfortunately, like rushed my meal just so I could like get out of there so I could stop talking to him.
Yeah.
And he was at the end of the table. So he was like constantly talking to me. So I couldn't like get away. You, on the other hand, won the lottery in terms of seatmates. And Jenna, if you're listening, turn off the pod.
Thank God she doesn't listen. Because I'm about to. Your neighbors are gonna think you got a fucking dog, dude. No,
Rabid dog.
So I sit down. I'm sitting next to Nick Sullivan from Esquire, the old menswear homie. He did a whole panel with all of the amazing creative directors at Hermès, Axel, Oliver, and Veronique, all of which are fucking goats and legends.
Christophe.
What's his name? Not Oliver?
No.
Christophe. Fuck. Whatever. All French people look the same. No.
They'll smell the same.
So after I'm done talking with Nick, I move over to introduce myself to my seatmate, beautiful young woman. We're talking about how to get on some Wi-Fi because we're both addicted to our phones. We're talking about that. She asked me what I do.
I gotta post the chef I just learned about.
She asked me and pretend like I knew the whole time. I'm not a gourmand, bro. I'm not a foodie.
It's fine.
And you know what? Now I am a convert to fire.
You've eaten at his steakhouse in Miami. You just didn't know.
Oh yeah, but that was fucking mid.
Huh?
That was low key mid.
I mean, any like $1,000 steak place is gonna be fucking mid.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, shout out Francis. I'm not going to judge you based on the faina. But anyway, so she's asking me what I do. You know, I'm trying to be self-deprecating because, like, again, here we are introducing ourselves as podcasters amongst, you know, people with actual skill and talent. And I turn to her and I go, "Oh, what do you do?" And she goes, "What do you think I do?" And, you know, I was being charming. We're getting along. I was like, "Oh, I just thought you were a beautiful influencer." She's like, "No, I'm actually a snowboarder."
No, I'm actually a woman with capabilities and skills.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
a pretty face.
Yeah, right. And she laughed. She thought it was funny. I was obviously being ironic. And I was like, "Oh, snowboard." I'm like, "So that's like, so you're like a pro snowboarder?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yo, you ever like been in the Olympics?" She's like, "Yeah, actually, I've won 2 gold medals. It's fucking Chloe Kim, dude." But the most impressive, enjoyable seatmate that I could ever hope for. We had a lot of great moments that night. I'm not gonna put any personal information on blast because we were talking about her career and her plans and some other interesting stuff. I just want to say what the most impressive Gen Z person I've ever met, and that's not just because she's the fucking Michael Jordan of women's snowboarding.
Wow, Lawrence, sounds like you went fucking little gaga over.
What can I say?
Chloe.
I was charmed.
Okay.
I was rizzed up.
You were fucking, I mean, I came over and you're like, "Yo, James, yo, I gotta introduce you, yo. And I was like, we met already. Like, you introduced us earlier. Your fucking tongue was on the table.
Whatever.
Your eyes were, you know,
horny
cartoon wolf. It was awesome to see that into, and I will say it did seem like the Riz was hitting.
Nah, we just having
the
a
Riz
good
was
time.
risen.
I think that, you know, on like we said, there's such a diverse crew on a press trip that it is a bit of a roll of the dice for anyone, whether you're the Michael Jordan of women's snowboarding or a fucking humble podcaster. You never know who you're going to get sat next to, and everyone has good and bad experiences, and I like to think I was one of her good experiences.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm watching you guys fucking fall in love over at the one end of the table, and I'm sitting next to this fucking chinless Henry just... Dude,
yo, shout out to that guy because like I had been around him earlier that day. He had 5 McAllens at lunch, so that's all you know.
Fucking, I mean, he was hammered and he was like cutting his steak. He was one of these guys.
I fuck with that guy though.
No, you were his biggest hater. He was like cutting his steak and like elbowing me, and I had to like.
Oh damn!
Him.
That's right.
Like,
you mentioned that. It's bad form, dude.
Yo.
Bad form in front of Mallmann, bro.
Well, because
doing?
He's one of these guys that like cuts his steak in a weird way because he's like trying to like. I don't know what. Like I looked down at the steak and he was like clearly he had to cut like a weird like. He was avoiding the edges. I don't know if he's like avoiding the fat. I'm like, that's the best part. What are you doing?
Especially with a ribeye, dude. This is a fatty cut, dude. We got to eat those fucking deliciously crispy edges.
But he's one of these guys. He's like a calorie counter. I mean, he's an eating disorder guy. He's of your ilk.
A brother.
But whatever. It was fucking. I needed to get out of there real quick, and thankfully, we did have ourselves quite the amazing night where I finally found my people back at the Hotel Jerome bar.
Yeah.
Shout out Alex and Jay. Was just fucking gooning down with them. Literally just talking about gooning.
We were talking about gooning the whole night.
We just talking about gooning and assholes and
artisanal small batch poppers.
Which Poppers brand.
Yo, I had him send me the fucking the rec, dude. I should do them on pod and like review them.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Do that.
My love of poppers is well known.
And this was another night where I think because I wasn't having a good time at dinner, you and our friend Chris were like a few steps ahead of me.
Oh, for sure, dude. 100%.
And ahead of everybody else.
Would drinking though make you have a better time, which is how people become dependent on alcohol?
Well, I was like, I don't want to get drunk with this. Like, I don't want to sit here. I just want to go.
Yeah.
I just want to leave. And then I was just like in a foul mood after that because I was like, that sucked.
You were bummed out. But thankfully, we saved the night.
That sucked. And then you guys and then you and Chris got into your movie talks. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he hates Ridley Scott.
Cool.
So I had to defend Sir Ridley Scott's honor. He's more of a Tony Scott guy.
Okay.
R.I.P.
Very, very sick. Very sick. We get back to Hotel Jerome, and my favorite guy from the Hermès team, actually, I love all of them equally, but my favorite guy, Axel.
Oh, dude.
The artistic director, creative director of this like division within Hermès, just called Hermès
Horizon,
where he just makes things
like yachts, for example.
Well, he's a professional boat shaper, boat builder, and at Hermès, he'll just like make a toboggan, or make like a axe, or like people come to him and ask him. I was like, "Yo, do people ever ask for like dildos made out of silk?" He's like, "Oh, very good question." Are you looking up? What are you looking up?
He calls himself a naval architect for the dreamers. That's his yacht business on the side.
So yeah, he's like, dude. He like just makes like vippy clients will come to him
Next level shit.
and be like, I want a Hermès speaker. And he'll just like make a speaker, make a jukebox.
Yeah.
But of the
that's right. The jukebox got shouted out. I guess there's some.
Of like the highest caliber
that's crazy.
quality. And like he'll go to like Kazakhstan to find like somebody that makes yarn a certain way and then like learn the technique from them. And then bring it back to the Hermès atelier and then just like make whatever fucking object necessitated learning the craft of like generations and generations of the Kazakh craftspeople.
He is a creator of dreams. Like literally, you come to him with something that potentially nobody else could execute, and he's going to get it fucking done at a level that is unlike anybody else.
And my guy is a great fucking hang. So we're all just hanging at the bar.
I don't want to say too much, but that guy fucking knows how to party. Dog.
We're all just hanging at the bar. We close the bar down. It's the last night. Like the next day is like a free day of whether you want to go shopping or skiing. We go to, and whatever, regular just like hanging out, drinking. We go to the bar shuts down. The only other bar nearby that's open is this fucking like speakeasy.
Well, it's part of the hotel. So
yeah, but and they were like, hey, like we should go there. We should go there. So we're getting pushed that way. Everyone, or a good amount of people show up, like Allison Roman, our guy Alex. Jay had to vacate because he had a fucking a little secret link up tryst. Not to put him on blast or anything.
You just did, dude.
Whatever. Axel pulls up. He's being the fuck. I'm like, yo, Axel, what's your IG? And he's like, oh, no. What is IG? Take my phone number. And so I'm like, I'm texting this French cell phone number.
His excuse for deleting IG, I'm not going to say was
then why would you say this?
No, it's just so funny. And if you ever see me in person, ask, and I'll tell you.
Yeah. I was on some mushrooms at this point.
Same.
And I think I was on more, right?
I don't know.
You never felt them. I felt them.
Yeah. But probably not as much. I definitely went home. Well, I'll tell you why I went home earlier, and it's an embarrassing story that I was saving for this pod. But keep going.
Anytime you're on mushrooms, you're like, oh, am I feeling them? And like, I thought I was like, I feel like I'm like floating a little bit. But I definitely knew I was when I went to take a piss, and somebody had just been raptured in the bathroom, and I posted this on IG. Somebody had just left their tuxedo in the bathroom stall. Pants, shirt, jacket, wallet, lighter, some other personal artifacts.
But all the artifacts were lined up on like the toilet paper or paper towel dispenser, but the tux was then just like strewn.
And you were like, I'm like, yo, Lawrence, what the fuck? And you're like, yo, should we take the credit card? Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not going to commit fucking larceny on some unsuspecting 23-year-old. Yeah, I'm going to take the cash as a finder's fee.
How much cash was it?
Like $12. Damn, but all singles.
Damn, that's the working class too. Well,
and then when I it's karma because when I clogged the toilet the next morning and the guy came to unclog it, I gave him all the money.
Oh damn! At least you were ready to tip.
I'm a job creator, bro.
Damn, you stole that money like you stole my rapture joke.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, this guy had just molted a tuxedo, and I come out of the speakeasy and like. I go back to our crowd, to our crew, and I'm like, yo, like, there's a fucking tuxedo, like, what, a wallet? People are like, what are you talking about? And so I go back to the bathroom and I come back, and that's when I knew that the mushrooms were, in fact, hitting. Blaming it on the altitude, maybe. But I'm just like holding a lot of clothing in my hands.
It's a full tuxedo.
And I'm walking around the speakeasy, and I don't know what to say or do.
Right.
And I'm just like, was
nasty.
somebody murdered here? There's a murder mystery at the speakeasy.
There was a firefight.
And then like the server's trying to ask me questions about it. I'm like, I fucking, it was on the toilet. Like, what do you?
It was weird, dude.
It was a strange moment where I was just like, it was kind of out of body. I'm just like, why am I holding somebody else's tuxedo in my hands at this speakeasy in Aspen at 11 p.m. on designer mushrooms?
Yeah, the two ways that I realized that I needed to vacate and go to bed for my big day of shopping the next day. First and foremost was Chris Wallace got so drunk he left his extremely beautiful film camera, very expensive.
That thing weighed like 20 pounds.
Yeah. So I was taking photos. I was wasting his film and just going up to everyone. And I'm from BFA. And it probably took like 50 terrible photos.
I think you took like 6. And
really?
I think
felt like a lot more.
Well, that was probably the drugs and alcohol for you. What was funny is that, no, you know what? You know why you think you took 50, but we only took 6? We realized you had to turn it on. We had to turn the camera on.
So it's just like playing with it like a child.
You were hitting the shutter button, but nothing was happening. And we had to turn it on, and we had to take the lens cap off.
I don't remember that. I thought I was taking it after that, but whatever. I just, as long as I didn't waste too much of Chris's film, I'll feel okay.
Well, because also like it's a probably 24 pack of film, not 50. Also, I had so then you left and I had the camera and lens cap. And for some reason, between like the other mushroom consumers, the lens cap, because it's just a black circle, was a symbol of death.
Oh no.
And they kept being like, yo, where's Lawrence? And I was like, he's dead. And they're like, where's the guy? So what happened with that guy in the tuxedo? I was like, he's fucking dead.
So okay, one, don't do mushrooms with James. Clearly, he's gonna make you have a freak out.
No, people were loving
but
it.
I actually almost was dead because the thing that really hammered home the point that it was time to wrap up is I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gas station right up the street.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fucking get more cigs, dude. Of course.
Yeah.
Go to the gas station. It has like just closed, and then the guy was not fucking with the vibe. He's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna let you in and sell you more cigs." Even though like I like literally hold up my wallet, I'm like, "Yo, I just like whatever." So I was like,
yo, I just found this credit card in the bathroom.
So I'm walking back, and I'm not dressed. It had just started to snow for the first time since we've been there, and we love our camions. We are the camion crew. I comically slipped in the middle of the street as if there was a banana peel. On top of the snow and went full fucking horizontal and fucking fell down.
Bro.
And thank God there was no cars in the company that would hit me, but no one was even around. So I was like, I guess this didn't even happen.
Did you bust your ass in Stockholm? I feel like this isn't the first time I've heard you bust your ass in the
I've
snow.
busted my ass quite a few times. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, it happens, dude. I do fucking slip and fall a lot.
You go horizontal too.
I'm a clumsy. My wife would say I'm a big dumb oaf. So.
You go vertical with the taste of wine glass, and then you go horizontal when you slip and you a bust ass move.
when the beers go vert, Larry goes horizontal, dude.
Yeah.
That's basically how it works.
Okay, but then the next day you had a little shopping day.
Yeah, nothing super notable there. I mean, it was really great to just hit the town with Chris and Eric. We ran into Stone Island is also in town, so we got to see the homie Tyrell and Dustin, who were doing some, like, I don't know, big press trip around the Kith Aspen store Stone Island collab, so that was nice. And yeah, we just went to Kimosabe, the iconic fucking Real Housewives spot when they're in town.
Beverly Hills, when there was a spat over the Kendall Jenner tequila.
It's a full party in there, bro. Everyone's drinking. The whole staff is fucking. All the girlies are.
Well, they're
fucking,
trying to get you drunk because the prices are pretty out of control. I was a bit like, whoa, $400 for a leather belt. Like that seems a bit fucking.
I bought some
taxing.
I bought some turquoise earrings.
I bought this tray.
Oh, nice. How much was that? That looks like it was expensive.
Guess how much?
So actual silver? No.
Yeah, and actual turquoise.
$250.
No, $130.
My earrings were like $75.
And a dop kit.
So we hit Chrome Hearts. Already talked about that. That was fucking awesome. Thank you again, Wide, for making that dream happen for me. Like I was a fucking Make-A-Wish kid. Because I don't know, man. I've never been to a Chrome Hearts store. I know there's one in New York, and every time I travel, there is a Chrome, like whether it's LA or like Miami or something. I could go to a Chrome store, but like I just never really.
Well, again, I think that you're the perfect mark for a brand because you're so easily convinced that like whatever's. I'm not saying you're a mooch, but it's like whatever is like.
I feel like I'm a very gracious person, like the best kind of guest. I am a black hole of consumption for sure. Like I don't even want to know what the final bill was on the room with all the added extras on top of just the cost. So I get to your point, but like your boys out here, if I like a brand and I really, that's my thing. Like I love Hermès. Like I'm gonna cape, bro.
I think it's like you're very easily seduced.
Oh, for sure.
So you're like, yo, it's Kevin Costner's ranch. I'm like, it's snow and trees.
But it's Kevin Costner's ranch.
But it's like earth, snow, trees, sky. Like it's the same shit. Like we'd be 5 minutes down the road and be the same thing.
Bro, I don't watch Yellowstone. I fucking post up at
I'm
the
just
real
saying,
Yellowstone.
Watching you get influencer pilled over the course of 48 hours. And at first it was like a trickle and then a deluge. It was like watching your parents start watching Fox News, but instead of hating Mexicans, you just like screenshot shit and post it and like ghost tag everybody.
I believe you would call it a seduction.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, hold on. One more thing. You're
shopping?
You're kind of right about why I'm like a great guy to bring on one of these trips, because after this entire fucking experience, I went to the Hermès store and got the scarf that I had like been loaned. Like I bought it and it was.
To apologize to your wife?
No, she didn't even, because I was like, because she liked the one. I thought she was into it. And I sent her a picture. I'm like, yo, should I bring this back? Add it to the collection. She was like, I hate horses. Oh, which, by the way, I have to say, my wife has never been more mad at me than this duration of time that she was at home with the puppy that had just gotten spayed and working while I was gallivanting like the 1% on a level that, you know, you can't help but just be jelly and hate from afar. Anyway, I fucking went to Hermès and I bought a fucking scarf.
I went to the store too until I was like, okay, I mean, this is true of anything, right? And this is obviously a huge privilege that we got to like do this thing, and then you get to see the brand or the products in like a different perspective. And there was like they had some vintage objects, which I took a photo of this vintage scarf and looked it up later. I was like, I'm not paying £6,000 for this vintage.
£6,000?
I believe so. Yeah,
must be a rare print, bro.
Yeah.
I just got a silly little horse sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
But that shit bangs. I'm gonna even though Jenna hates it. That's her thing too. She's like, so you just went, you not only went on this trip, but like you brought back gifts for yourself.
Spent money on yourself.
Jeez. I'm like, Chrome Hearts incense. She's like, I hate incense. I hate horses.
Except for throwing fits incense.
I hate turquoise. I'm like, damn, dude. All right.
Speaking of redemption, we
Dr.
finally
No over here.
Speaking of going horizontal, well, not really, because we were on the PJ, and this time we knew what was in store for us. Right?
Oh, we went.
I was like, bro, I was ready to was ready to be an asshole because like if I'm sitting in the back again, or if SEAL Team Dix gets all the seats and we had to go back to the asshole again, I'm gonna say something.
You were workshopping like a way to be like firm but still polite in case that scenario.
Do you want to hear what it was?
Yeah. How about pretend that pretend I'm a super fucking hot masculine gay man that could
with 400,000 followers on Instagram.
I'm sitting in a seat that you want.
And like it's okay.
We'll role play.
Hey guys, can I just make a suggestion real quick? Some of us had to fly in the back on the way here, and I just think it'd be fair because it is like less comfortable back there than up here. I think it would be fair if anyone wanted to just maybe volunteer to swap seats so that we can also get the full experience.
Who are you?
I'm the guy that fuck Chloe. No, I'm kidding.
You're the TikToker from
Curb, number
right?
one TikToker.
Yeah, no, get in the
who
back.
the fuck are you?
And get me a glass of champagne while you're... Who am I, dude?
You drank the plane dry on the way back. You literally drank all their red wine.
But anyway, we didn't have to
we didn't have to because I positioned myself once we drove 2 hours back to Rifle,
Also,
Colorado.
you didn't want to role play more? That seemed like that
fine.
we could have done a whole...
No, that's fine. You think that I'm the mean guy. You're the mean guy. We drive 2 hours back to Rifle, Colorado.
Method acting.
Sick, bro. I position myself firmly at the doorway to the tarmac. Whereas you're like, oh, I'm going to go smoke cigarettes. I'm like, Lawrence, I'm not going to carry your bags to the plane. So I text you, hurry, when we finally get the fucking nod that we're going to board.
Mm. Once the manifest has been, checked.
Yeah. We are two of the first 3 people on the plane and immediately sit down. Yeah. And I will say, like, that experience flying back was infinitely better than sitting in the fucking bench.
You got the best seat. You found out.
I was in the owner's seat. I was like, yo, don't make eye contact with anyone because unfortunately, due to like the weather situation, some Hermès people had to fly back with us and the plane got a little more crowded.
Just pretend you're sleeping.
Yeah. Just fucking put your shit down. Plug your shit in. Some Hermès people had to fly in the asshole, which is really unfortunate, but they're all good sports about it.
Wait, tell people what makes it the captain's chair because you didn't even know that. And it was kind of like, honestly, this is okay. Let me say something nice. Because you just called me a hater a second ago.
I said you were mean.
Oh, well, either way. I'm not. It's
That's
almost
what
like
I would say.
Jimmy with the vision, bro. You just picked the best seat, the owner's seat, and it's called that because
I said, sit there, I'm gonna sit here. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I was like, do you want to swap? Like, shut the fuck up and sit down. Do you want to swap? Do you want to fly backwards because you whittled tummy?
No, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter to me.
I don't know why you were like so not into that. I was like, sit the fuck down. It's called the owner's seat because it's the most forward facing on the right side of the plane because the pilot sits on the left side of the plane. And so you're able to directly communicate with him and be like, hey, we're actually going to go to fucking redirect to Miami.
Yeah, we're going to Miami.
So that's why it's called the owner's seat.
Going to Vegas, baby.
And then did I get the fucking gripping my balls on the PJ flick off? Yes, of course.
You're welcome.
Like, yeah. After I posted you so graciously.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
with the visible tag.
Yeah, infinitely better. And yeah, I have to say that, like, being able to say beautiful phrases like manifest or tail number, these are the kind of things it's the little things, dude. It's the cosplaying that just are really going to stick with me. And I just can only hope that at some point in the future, I'll be able to, genuinely ask someone, what's the tail number? What's the tail number?
That's not like a
Is,
real.
I'm on the manifest, but you don't do.
I'm
you
on
don't,
the manifest. Yes.
You don't say that unless you fly private, bro. You've
It's just
never
saying-
said that to a Delta agent. What's the tail number?
It's the same thing saying, what's your flight number?
It's the most beautiful phrase in the English language. It's a different thing, dude. You would know if you flew private.
You're just so easily seduced by this bullshit. It's crazy.
But like, okay, what can I say?
I'm just
bro?
saying. You know, if it sounds good on Instagram, you're fucking into it.
Let me make the one final point, and I'll be quick because we want to give Con his flowers because we had such a fun night with him just yesterday. No, when
2
was
days
it?
ago.
2 days ago. 2 days ago. You went into this because you're a measured person. You don't get seduced. You're like, I want to keep my expectations going to this trip like pretty fucking level, right? You never know. I set my shit sky high, 45,000 feet. 800 miles an hour, G6 height. And you know what? I'm happy that I did that because it ended up surpassing it.
Nice.
So I can't even imagine how good it was for you.
It was a lot of
That
fun.
makes me happy.
It was a lot of fun. Glad we did it. Glad we got glad we got an hour and 20 minutes
Oh
of
my
pod
God,
content. And yeah,
There's going to
I mean,
be some mean exit surveys after this one for sure.
for sure.
I'll be sure to relay them
If you're
to you.
still sticking around and just love hearing people talk about cosplaying as rich guys,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank God that the next day when we got home, we had, what I would consider to be a more like authentic experience, which was hanging out with our friend Konrad Kay, the co-creator of Industry.
Sure.
He came over from London. He needed a little holiday. So he asked when the boys were available to fucking link up. We recorded Friday Fiasco, which I thought was actually really good.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. I can't wait.
And I just finished my Industry rewatch yesterday.
For the fourth time?
I think so.
It's a great show.
It
You are a dick
truly
rider.
gets better.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It truly gets better on every rewatch. You're just mad Ridley Scott's not watching.
Is he not?
no.
Who knows?
And
I don't want to say
to hear about like what's coming up, to hear about other projects he's working on. It was just like actually very fucking sick to like reconnect with a long lost homie and have the type of conversation you can't have when you're just meeting someone for the first time under these like pretenses of like, oh, us, we privileged few who have flown out here via PJ to Aspen. Which we made some friends, and hopefully down the road we'll be able to have these like longer, more in-depth, not like superficial conversations with them. But it was very refreshing and very like life affirming and heart solving to me to actually link up with somebody that we not only like we have a friendship with, but also respects us for what we do and isn't just like, podcasters.
The two-way street of respect. You're right. That definitely that'll be chicken soup for your fucking podcaster soul. What I was happy for you is that this is the first time that normally when we've seen him, it's been in London. We've been on his turf.
Yeah, first time in New York with it. No, second time.
Second time in New York. But what I mean is not forget about Manhattan. He came to Greenpoint. We do the show. We hit the fucking local dive bar. We go to A bar, tie a couple on. Then we fucking go to Bernie's. He gets to experience Bernie's. He gets to experience Rachel and Oliver and the amazing staff. Then we can keep
what's funny, and he went to a high-end restaurant the night before, and he's like, yeah, it was like false advertising. And this is, again, I think this is like
all vibes, no food.
This is perception versus reality. He goes to the IG place. He's like, yeah, it sucked. He comes to the place that, yes, is popular on social media, but he's like, this is exactly what I fucking wanted. Like the best vibes, the best people, the best food. I don't want to leave. I just want to hang out here.
My man was fucking dipping mozzarella sticks in ranch, just living it up American style.
Well, do either of those things exist in London?
I don't know.
Mozz sticks or ranch dressing?
Probably not.
Dude, it's like feeding a Dorito to a pilgrim.
Yeah, truly, dude. But yeah,
a Cool Ranch Dorito.
But yeah, we had ourselves a night. I mean, we love that, man. We can't wait for you guys.
You bought me flowers.
That's right. That's right, dude. We were just like, let's get some more beers, and this man bought a bouquet.
We were like,
where are they? Oh, they're right over there.
We were like,
we should have fucking put them on pod.
We were supposed to hang like a little later in the day, but then because we had to like catch.
We also went shopping at Fantasy with him.
We had to catch up on life stuff and also just like tidy the crib for him to come over.
Yeah.
But he's like, yo, what are you guys doing now? I'm like, yo, let's just hang out now. Like I forgot how much I fucking love this man.
He's the best, dude.
Yeah. So that's Friday Fiasco. I guess is coming out. I don't know in a few weeks, but it was just.
Oh, and
honestly, if I didn't have that kind of like palate cleanser after the Hermès trip, which again was very sick, but also just very not real life.
No, it's not. It's fake.
It would have been I would have been even in a more grumpy mood than I was today.
Yeah, there's no way that like you're right. That level, like that's not a sustainable cruising altitude for life. Like, of course, I would love to be like filthy fucking rich and like maybe like use some of that money for good, mainly evil, probably, if I'm being honest. But with Con, and then also I will say the best part I thought of the night was kind of like the late night hang back at A Bar outside with a crew of like a lot of friends, new and old, and him getting to like chill. Sucking Ron comes through. Yeah. We got Kev from Fantasy Explosion. We got fucking Big J in the building. A bunch of other Leo was there, but like a bunch of people that you know, definitely are probably familiar with the industry, but never met Con the guy, and we just get to hang out. And that to me is, like you're saying, that's the authentic James Harris Greenpoint experience. TM.
See, it's funny we say when you're filthy fucking rich.
Inshallah.
If and when I'm filthy fucking rich, I'm gonna use my money to not have to talk to as many people as I did over the weekend. And it's like, get the fuck out of my life. I'm only hanging with the real ones and actually like use money for the good of my own self-being. And yours too as
having
well.
Less people on the PJ mainly.
Having less people in the PJ so that everyone can get a spin in the owner's chair.
Everyone can get a ride in the big lazy boy leather.
Everyone gets a chance at flying the plane. Yo, it was the sickest part of flying the PJ as like
you said flying it like you were like they let you drive.
Exactly. No, was
like from the owner's
chair, from the owner's chair, watching the pilot do his motherfucking thing.
It's a video game, dude.
And when we're landing, I can hear him on the intercom or the headset being like 80, 70. 60, 50.
That was a
40,
slow
30, 20.
Oh, that's
10.
quick descent. This
touchdown. We're good.
Dude, I was getting fucking anxious, dude.
Bro, CK109 is in the motherfucking building. All right.
Oh, then you saw Snoop Dogg. All right.
Oh, yeah, then I saw Snoop Dogg.
Okay, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. This is a fun one. A lot to get through.
If you're a brand that wants a full podcast centered around you. No, I'm kidding.
Yo, honestly, like if you got a little fucking shit saved up, buy some Hermès silk for somebody special in your life. I guarantee you ain't nobody getting them anything better than that for the holidays.
The Hermès ties were fucking fire. And also like 2 something, so not crazy, right? If you want to splurge out. Yeah. The gloves. The gloves were my favorite thing.
The gloves were really nice.
Because the scarves are like, obviously they're known for their scarves and like their silk prints and everything, but the gloves are
shooting bows and arrow went into Hermès gloves. Another Rick Ross bar.
Yeah. All right, Chef, take us out.